Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about listening to understand versus listening to respond. So how do you listen more to understand instead of listening just to respond or just to say something right away so you don't look like a weirdo or you don't look anxious or nervous. So number one is you want to mirror her. You want to mirror her physiology and her tonality. So I was talking about this on my Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go head over there because I'm there every single day at Steph Ganowski. I'll put it in the footnotes. You want to mirror her tonality and her physiology. What I mean by this is if you're talking with women, if you're speaking with a woman and she is maybe a little hunched over or maybe a little conservative in the way she stands or maybe a little hesitant in the way she carries her body, then you don't want to be Mr. Up Here because she's not going to feel connected to you. She's not going to feel as heard by you. If you kind of match her style a little bit physiology-wise, and that doesn't mean you go down to her level, you go a little bit above her level just in order to bring her to a higher place of confidence. That way she'll feel better. You already make her feel better just through your physiology by impacting her physiology. It's crazy. So if you were to just go over to her and be a little more, a little more upwards than maybe her stance that's maybe here, then that will in a way make her feel more connected to you because you're coming to her level, you're matching her where she's at, right? So that's mirroring her physiology. If she is very confident and holds a very confident stance, then it would help if you were up there with her. So maybe if that's not your usual body language, try to match her a little bit. Try to at least get on her level somewhat so that she can feel like, oh, we're connected in some way. We have this in common. Look, our bodies look similar. Okay? And this is all subconscious. We're not thinking. We don't go on a date and we say, oh, I want someone who matches my body language. We don't think about that, but our brain is thinking it. Trust me, our brain is thinking about it all the time. Then we can also mirror tonality. So what I mean by this is if someone is speaking very forward or very upfront, if you have a woman who's very direct in her tone or very specific or whatever you can notice about her tonality, if her pitch or whatever, you want to match that. So try to match that as well. Along with her physiology, try to match her tonality of the conversation, like how she speaks. Get in the groove of her vibe. Like try to see like, okay, what kind of mood is this girl in? And can I match that? Because if you do match that, she will feel more connected to you. She will feel like, oh, this guy gets me. He gets me. I don't know what it is, but he gets me. And you'll know what it is. You'll know. Use her language. So I call this narrative therapy. And this is a coaching technique where it's using the same words that the person just said to you, and then shoot them back a question using those exact words. So the last thing you want to do when you're speaking with a woman is if she's trying to say a word, you fix the word. Like you come up with a different word or a better word for her to use. She didn't use that word. Allow her to use her own word. Okay? And women do this to guys too. Like just as humans, we do this. We try to correct each other and we say, oh, do you mean this? But they didn't mean that. So if you want someone to feel very connected and understood by you, just use their language. If they say a word that maybe you have a better word for, ask them a question using that word. Use their word. The more words you can use that she used, the more connected she will feel to you. The more understood she will feel to you. The more heard she'll feel. See what I mean? So by using her exact wording, that's something that came out of her mouth. So that's very personal. And if you use that, it's like, oh, he was listening. He used my exact word. He got me. Okay? Once again, subconscious. Another tip is actually being interested in her. Be genuinely curious. The more interested you are, the more interesting you are. So if you really do want to know more about this woman, then ask her things that you really want to know more about, be genuine about it. If there's a certain interest of hers or a certain hobby she does that you're really seriously interested or fascinated by, ask her questions about it because that will come across very genuine. If it's true and it's genuine to you and you really want to know more about it, then your questioning will come across very genuine and very authentic, and she'll feel like really appreciated that she'll really like the fact that you're asking questions about something that she told you about, right? And so that's a great way to be a good listener. Lastly, the point I want to get across is, and refers back to the old video, the last video I just did, on setting intentions, is set an intention to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. So what does that mean? Right before you go on the date, right before you sit down to have a conversation, have some time to yourself, whether it's in your car, whether it's in the bathroom. You need to close your eyes for 1 minute and just say, okay, how do I want this date to go? Or how do I want this conversation to go? How do I want her to feel when we're talking? Whatever question you want to ask yourself, and then get the intentions of, okay, on this date, I want to come across as though I'm a really good listener. I always close my eyes. I always close it. You don't have to close your eyes. So you could just set an intention on this date. I really want to come across as a good listener, very connected to her. I want her to feel very connected to me, and I want to have a fun time. I want to give her a positive energy so she has fun. Just saying those 3 things gets it in your mind so that you have some focus point. Okay? Because the last thing you want to do is go in the bathroom and be like, okay, don't fuck up, don't do this, don't do that. Because as I always say, what you focus on, you get more of. So you want to put your focus in a place of, what do I want? How do I want her to feel? How do I want this conversation to go? How do I want my listening skills to carry through this conversation? How do I want to listen to her? And if that true intention is, I want to listen to understand, not listen to react, then just have that in your mind right beforehand. Replay that a little bit and say, I really want to listen to understand on this date. I really want to get to know this woman, and I want her to have a really fun time with me. And you don't have to close your eyes, but I keep closing my eyes. It's more meditative. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Those are the tips for you to be a better active listener so that she feels heard, she feels more connected to you, and she feels like you want to get to know her and that you hear what she has to say. This will help you tremendously on your dates, especially when it comes to communicating with women and getting out of your head, okay? Being an active listener gets you out of your head and more into the conversation and more into her and what she's saying. And don't worry about her doing all the talking. That won't happen. She's going to ask you questions back, and you'll be able to voice your own opinions, and you'll be able to answer her questions. So never feel like it should be all one-sided, because it should never be just her, answering all the questions and all the focus on her, right? And if it is, then maybe that's not the best woman for you, because you want to show that you have things to say as well, and you have things you want to talk about when it comes to you. So never forget that these are the steps to being a more active listener: listening to understand, not listening to react. And yeah, that's what I got for you today. So have a great day. Please like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate that. And if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help you, especially if you have any recommendations for the next video. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.